The hate list, headlined by Michael Pittman for pass catchers, under 50 receiving yards in 6 of the 8 full games he's played with Anthony Richardson. These two just don't have the connection, Matthew, that you'd hope for from a number one wide receiver. I kind of use that in quotes because Josh Downs has been busier than Michael Pittman.
Yeah, and by the way, Josh Downs making his return to practice. Maybe we'll get to see him on Sunday. That's hopeful. But look, Pittman should be shadowed by potential Defensive Player of the Year, Patrick Surtain. He hasn't seen an end zone target since week 6. Like, again, they just, to your point, Connor, when they get in close, Richardson just doesn't even look at him. And this is not a good matchup. Not a good matchup against Surtain or the entire Broncos defense. Denver has allowed a touchdown on a league low 2.8% of wide receiver targets this season. I know Jerry Jeudy had a big day against them, but generally speaking, they've been very good defensively. I don't think Michael Pittman changes that.
No, Josh Downs also was able to get into practice yesterday. Looks like he might be trending towards returning. And the whole thing about Pittman coming into the season, and really for the past 3 seasons, has been, well, there's no one else in the passing game. Like, he is the number one guy. But now, like, Josh Downs is better than Michael Pittman. Alec Pierce quietly is playing much better and is becoming more than just a deep ball Will Fuller type of merchant where, you know, with game on the line, 4th and 3 to tie it up, Anthony Richardson goes to Alec Pierce in the end zone. So Pittman just hasn't really had that rapport, and Pierce and Downs taking work from him.
I didn't think we'd get a Will Fuller reference today.
I will try and get it in if I can.
It's a good poll.
Yeah.
Short-lived fantasy greatness.
I was going to go Will Fuller or Willie Snead. Those are the 2 options.
Fuller's better than Willie Snead, but for the purposes of your example, like in terms of just somebody getting deep as well. Whatever, like that's a 30 for 30 waiting to happen.
Odd.
Whatever happened to Will Fuller is
PED suspension, I believe.
Something, and then just
just kind of disappeared.
He went from he had some massive game. I forget the stats off the top of my head, but he had some game where it was like 100 yards and 2 touchdowns, and then 3 weeks later never heard from again. Like it's anyway, whatever. It's a whole thing.
Way back in the day, I was at Notre Dame USC, and I was sitting in the end zone, and Notre Dame starts, obviously on the other side of the field, and they threw a bomb to Will Fuller on one of the first plays I think over Dory Jackson.
Okay.
I don't think I've ever seen somebody run faster in my life in person than Will Fuller. It was like.
I thought he was going to become like what Rashid Shaheed has become.
Literally. One of the fastest humans to ever play in the NFL in pads. And just like that, it was gone.
Yeah.
Very odd.
Quickly, just to wrap up because we're running short of time, Devontae Smith makes the hate list look again. Eagles just aren't throwing a ton. And so A.J. Brown, squeaky wheel, expect him to get a bunch of in games in which he doesn't score a touchdown, right, since their bye week. Devontae Smith is averaging under 7 fantasy points per game. He's become a touchdown-dependent
They don't throw.
wide receiver, and they don't throw. Again, they're having such success on the ground. Going up against Pittsburgh, this should be a very low-scoring, ugly game. The line, I think, is 42.5, and I think I like the under in this one. You know what I mean? I just don't see how both defenses are playing so well. Both offenses are slow-paced as well.
No George Pickens.
No George Pickens. And then finally, Cade Otton. The Chargers have allowed 1 touchdown on 90 tight end targets this entire year. And in games in which Mike Evans has been active, Cade Otton just hasn't been as good as he has been previously. So he's my tight end 17. We talked about him the other day.
Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBCSports.com and RotoWorld.com. And I want to thank you so much for watching whatever it is you just watched. Or if nothing else, being too lazy to click out of the autoplay after this video started, after whatever it is you actually wanted to watch finished. But now that you're here, I'd like to take a moment here to ask you respectfully now, okay? I'm asking you respectfully to subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel. You'll get the latest RotoWorld fantasy news headlines, all sorts of great shows, including my own Fantasy Football Happy Hour. So go subscribe now. Again, I'm asking respectfully.